Yo, Todd here, Center Valley Customs. Welcome back if you're back. Welcome if you're not. We are back on the tracker once again. I did a whole bunch of work off camera these last couple weeks. I had a goal. I didn't quite get there, but pretty close. I ordered up a set of seats, so hopefully by the end of this video, we can get seats in this thing. And by hopefully, I mean hopefully they fit. So let me show you what I did the last couple weeks, and then we're just going to get to work, try to get these seats in there. So let's do it. I finally built up the ambition to replace the outer rocker and floor pan. When doing this, however, this whole inner rocker was rotted out. I did not have a replacement panel, so I had to build all of this. It looks easy because it's straight here, but actually it jogs over and then jogs down again to meet up with this outer rocker. I had to play the game. What can I cut out and replace first? Because if you cut out the outer rocker and put the outer rocker back on, you can't get at the inner rocker. Also, you have nothing to weld to because it's gone. But then I can't cut out the floor pan because I need the floor pan to tell me where that inner rocker needs to meet. So it was kind of like I said, it was just a little game on what can I cut out and put back in. Making that inner rocker took the most time. I did use a cheap Harbor Freight metal brake. Honestly, it didn't work that great, but it was better than beating metal over a table. But I work a full-time job, so it took me, like I said, I maybe have 2 hours after work to work on something. So it was literally like make a piece. Making the first piece took the most time. But once I kind of figured out what I was doing, it went a little smoother. But I make a piece, weld it in. Next day, make a piece, weld it in, so on and so forth. Honestly, I was trying to make it nice. After I got a little careless, I don't know if we want to say careless, but less, what's the word? Meticulous? Yeah, something like that. Once I stopped caring so much, it went together way faster. Just look at it, cut this out, put this in, cut this out, put this in, instead of trying to bend every little piece to make work and whatever. I watched a Sleeper Do video. I think he was doing floor pans and rockers on a square body. And he said, with interior pieces, he doesn't try to make it look pretty. So I took that logic and I applied it to, well, everything. Yeah. My goal was to have all of this done so that we could paint all this. I plan on using like a either like a bed liner or like an undercoating, something that's thick that'll hopefully hide all of the garbage. However, when doing that, I realized I need to make seat brackets, and then I realized I don't have seats. What? Yeah, I know it looks like shit. Go away. I realized I didn't have seats, so then I had to order seats. So this video is not going to go out on time. However, I did get the seats. So our plan today is to cut off all these old brackets and hopefully make new brackets, and hopefully my seats will fit. In order to get these brackets off, they're all spot welded, so we got to drill out the spot welds. I'm using a spot weld bit here. It has a little pin that depresses, and then teeth, which mine are actually missing some teeth. The hardest part about this is probably finding the spot welds, honestly. You can take a grinder and grind them down, and hopefully you'll see the low spots, or I can just see them. So I already center punched all these for this pin, and we're just going to give her hell. Hopefully, you don't want to go all the way through both pieces. You only want to get through this top piece. So let's see what happens. This thing is junk. Yeah, it likes to do that. It's probably because it's missing a tooth or two. So what I like to do is at least get one undone, and then I can pry up, kind of smash a screwdriver in there, and you can find the rest of them if you can't find them. But yeah. Okay. Oh, and this chuck is junk too. It's probably my other issue. You Ooh. I'm gonna get mad. What's going on here? I think my pin is bent. Okay, that might be good enough. You don't do this to me. Now I need a screwdriver or a pry bar, something. I got one of each. Missed one, maybe? Yeah, I did. Must be one. Oh, I can see one, I think. Oh, how did that happen? Okay. I think there might be one here. Pretty sure. Ouch! Ouch! Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. I'll have to weld that up. Grind those down. Hopefully this piece is welded in different spots. Good. Now I gotta go after this one down here, which you probably can't see, or maybe you can. I gotta find them in here, except for this had this coating over it, so I need to find the spot welds, which is the hardest part, and get this off. I could probably honestly just grind it down, but I'll try to get the spot welds out. Yes. Oh, I have no fucking teeth left. The bits on these are replaceable, so you can take them off, put new ones on. Generally, when it starts kicking my ass, I realize I don't have teeth left. So, that should be a little better, I would hope. Okay. Grinder time. Alright, I got my seats out of the box. I suppose I could get my templates out of here. Might still need them, but I wouldn't recommend drinking all 12 cans of whatever just to get the template material. Anyway, what I got here are the cheapest low back seats I could find that were fake leather, vinyl, whatever you want to call it. These are not what I personally would have chosen, but it's what my wife wanted because this is for her. I wanted like a racing style seat. She did not. She actually wanted a bench seat, and I lied to her and told her a bunch of bullshit that she couldn't have them. Anyway, regardless. So this is something that I picked out and she approved more or less. I think I gave $400. So I say cheap, but they still were kind of pricey. But honestly, I couldn't find anything cheaper. So These did come with, what you want to call it, the sliders and everything. So that's nice at least. But we just got to put them together. And I do like them, to be honest with you. They actually do look pretty nice. I don't know what's going on over here. We'll figure that out later. The hardware is already in the seat. So I literally just got to take the hardware out of the seat, put it in the bracket, and bolt them back together. Except for that one side doesn't have a screw. And from what I can tell, you put this little itty bitty chintzy. That can't be right. I got to figure out the other side here. This side's got 2 M8 bolts in it. Okay, so this has to go that way, but it can't. I gotta bend it, I think. Pliers? Or does that come out of there? I have instructions here. Ah, that does come out of there. Okay. That's more bigger. Cooking now. All right, moment of truth. Are these things actually even going to fit in here? Not really. Where this door is, this is hanging over, which I kind of expected that to happen because the measurement from this sill edge, I guess whatever you call this, rocker, to the tunnel was like 21.5 inches, and that's about what this was. So I already expected these not to really fit. If they didn't have these bolsters, it'd fit pretty damn good, even where the handle is tight. So regardless, the seat's going to have to come up. I think my thought was if I can get it up, I can hug the seat to the inside. I don't know. Might just have to slam the door extra hard. Regardless, we need to make seat brackets to bring this up. I don't know. I don't know. How do they feel? Oh, wow. Yeah, you sit extremely low. Honestly, this bucket is like damn near the perfect height. So if I could get the bottom of the seat to about where this bucket is, it'd be spot on. But getting them to fit in here, probably gonna have to put a door on to see where the edge of the door is before we can really go any farther. Unfortunately, I have my wife's Christmas party to go to, so I actually need to get my ass in gear and take a shower and get moving. But I do like them in here. They do look nice. I didn't think I'd be a fan of the low back seat, but it actually looks pretty damn good. Okay. Well, tomorrow I think we'll throw a door on, see if we can get this to fit, and see if we can get some measurements. Put the slides on. That would probably help already a little bit because they're probably an inch and a half tall. Go from there. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Yo, it has been a few days, unfortunately. Saturday was the last day I worked on this. Sunday I got busy with other things. Yesterday it was cold and I was feeling kind of lazy, so I did come out and fully assemble the seats with the sliders and everything on them. And today is cold again. Unfortunately, it's just getting colder and colder and colder. Today is 6 or 9 degrees. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's supposed to be colder. And Thursday, I think it's supposed to be negative 15. So yeah, I kind of just have to bundle up and get something done. So also yesterday, I cut a couple pieces of 2x4s and set them up on end, which is 3.5 inches tall. Set these on there, and they're still too short. We have to remember this is for my wife, and I'm like 5'7", and my wife comes up to here on me. So we got to raise the seats up. I had her come out just a little bit ago, sit in the driver's seat, see what she could see. And she's looking directly at the top of the steering wheel. So I think what my plan is that original brace down there is at 5 inches. I think that's what I'm going to shoot for. I dropped the ball once again. Didn't go and get material or call for material. So today I finally called around for material. If I want something like a 4x2 or 5x2 inch rectangle tube, it's going to be like a week. So I'm going to use what I have available to me, which is this random 3-inch square tube that I'll have to cut. It's going to look stupid, but if I don't just do something, it's never going to get done. So to start today, what we need to do is get a door put back on here so that I can see if these seats are even going to fit at all, which they should. Raising them up will let me shift them over towards the tunnel more, so whatever. But with the door on, I can at least eyeball and see how far over I got to move them. So I already dug a door out. I'm going to get this door put on. First, I got to find my hardware, which I'm pretty sure I filed away in my previous, current, and upcoming project shelf here. And actually, right here they are. I'd be damned. I am organized son of a bitch here. So let's get a door put on here quick. Get the old door jack over here. I'm sure this is going to go just absolutely smooth. Okay, she's heavier in the front. All right. What is... Am I going the wrong way? Can I get away with just 2? See if we can get away with just 2 bolts. Okay. It's actually not too bad. Door's back on, and it looks pretty good. So more or less, the inside of the door lines up with the inside of that rocker, which tells me 2-ish things. A, as long as I keep the seat inside this rocker, I should be good. Also, kind of sort of tells me where I have the inner rocker and put all that back on is in the right spot. Ish, maybe. So now, probably take this door back off. Otherwise it's going to be in my way and I'm just going to get pissed. And then we can start cutting up some square tube and hopefully get something going here. Well, I went a little rogue off camera here, so I apologize. Probably should have explained this whole situation before I just went and started cutting things, but here we are. As you can see, I already have a piece of 3-inch square tube set in here. It's not welded or anything. I did make a template for this. Well, hold on. I gotta say it like every other YouTuber. I did some CAD, not on a computer, cardboard aided design. I call it, take cardboard, tape some shit together until you get a template, trace it out, cut it. Simple as that. All right. Sorry, I've heard that like 30 times in the last month. Anyway, a little rampage there. Sorry. So I think I'm going to put a piece of 3-inch here. The main reason for this one is because the old seat bracket used to sit here, and it actually added some support or structure to this floor, because right now it's kind of, I don't know, soft. So after I get this welded in, which is not going to be today or whatever, but I'm going to push this floor up and then just do some, what do I call them, stitch welds across the bottom of this to hold this tight. For the back bracket here, I think I'm going to do the same as I did here. I thought about just running some smaller pieces and just putting one under each foot. However, I think that would look more stupider. Maybe not. I don't know, but I already had this in my head, so this is what I'm rolling with. I'm also going to have to make tabs off of this, which are probably going to be 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall, to bring the seat up. Based on pictures I've seen on the interwebs, the bottom of the seat, original seat, was about in level with this, which makes sense based on that bracket back there. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. What else? I don't know. That's kind of the plan. Take another piece of 3-inch. I got to go back, I think, 10 3/4 from the center here, which is where my mark is here, and my mark is here. Once I am ready to weld this in, I'm actually going to probably cut a little notch out of here and beat this down so that it's not hanging above this. It'll be below or level with it at least. I think that'll look a little better. That is kind of the plan. I want to try and get one more piece cut to put in here tonight. It's pushing 9 o'clock already on a school night. And my wife is not going to like the noise, so I'm going to try to get that knocked out as fast as I can. I think that's it. Square tube, tabs, seat. Boom, Bob was your uncle. Now he's your aunt, and he goes by Betty. That got dark. Apologize. All right, I got my 2 pieces cut. That's kind of the gist of it. I got to do a little bit of trimming on this, but that'll be for tomorrow because I'm done for the night. I got 2 pieces of metal cut today. Great. See you tomorrow. Oh wait, I got to do the thing. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this YouTube thing. Yo, unfortunately, it has been a few days, once again, since I've recorded. Now, I did come out and did what I would call busy work. I made some brackets. I did some cutting, did some grinding. I don't know. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Shit I wouldn't care to see, so hopefully nobody else cares. Now, it is freezing outside. When I went to work this morning, it was -15. The wind chill last night, they claim, was anywhere between -30 and -45 degrees. So it is cold. I think it's -10 right now. My heat has been running nonstop. I finally had to shut it off just so I could record. It's going to be a cold one today. It's going to suck. Yesterday, I did pie cut this corner or this end and smash this down so that you can't see directly into the tube from the side. I think that looks better for what we got going on here. I did make the seat brackets. They're literally just I took a hunk of 3-inch, I cut it down, and I cut it in half. Now, this tube is about a 1/2 inch taller than this tube. Typically, when you put a seat in, you want the back to sit a little lower. It makes you feel like you have more room. My seats have a decent bolster in the front, so I'm just going to run them level. Therefore, the C-channel brackets I made, I had to make the back about a 1/2 inch lower. Now, This is probably not going to weld in great. I don't have much gap here, don't have much gap here. Welding up these edges is going to be fine, but under here I got crazy gap. My plan was to just beat these ridges down, and I thought this tubing would sit down farther. I can't get it down any farther. So we're just going to kind of work with what we got going on here. There is a support structure here, so I can't really push the floor up. This is all spot welded. Up here, my plan already was to push this floor up to the tube and weld it. I might end up making a couple L brackets and calling it good enough. I don't know yet. Long story short, we're just going to kind of work with what we got, and it's probably going to look like shit. So, the seat brackets I made. Like I said, I took, well, this here is 1.5 inches wide, so I literally just cut chunks of square tube 1.5 inches wide and then cut them in half. The back I had to cut down a little shorter, so this is actually 1 inch. These are 1.5 inches. These will cradle the other square tube, and I'll weld those in. I did test fit this already. It actually sits pretty nice. So for today, what we need to do is I'm going to pop these out. I've already traced around the side of them. I got to grind all that whatever crap off of there so that I can weld them in. We're going to weld them in. I got to clean that tube up. I got to clean all these brackets up again so that I can weld them. Then I think my plan is to just weld this piece in here just like this. Once I clean it up, we'll set the seat in. We'll get the front lined up, weld the front in. Then the back we might have to knock around a little bit to get where we want it, and somehow, some way, get the seat back out. Haven't thought that far ahead. We'll worry about that when we get there. Hopefully you can't hear my heat running too much. I did throw a little tack weld up in this corner. I'm going to try to square this up off the back because there's nothing to square it to. I think this old brace kind of ran back hill. This is on an angle. I don't know what's square and what's not. So I'm just going to use this. So 21.5 looks to be about the number I need. So that's what it's going to be. Sure. This is going to be fun jumping these gaps. Also, this piece is 1/8 inch. This is like 18 gauge maybe, so I don't know what this should be set at. Doesn't sound great. Throw a tack in here. Sure. Sure. Oh, and all these original body panels have undercoating on them, and when you weld to the panel, it starts that on fire. So, because it's all the way over here underneath this tunnel, I won't be able to see if it's on fire or not. I don't know if that's good or bad. Actually, I should take this out of here. I'm going to take this out of here so I can see in there. Okay. Yeah. So let's try to run a bead in here. I really should try to test fit all this stuff before I just go ham on it, but that is one hell of a gap. I think we're just going to go for it. Helmet. I like these Harbor Freight helmets, but in my opinion, they're way too dark. Can't see nothing when you're welding. Okay. Looks okay, actually. Well, got my piece in. You guys died at some point, which is unfortunate because I was just letting that pool flow. It actually welded pretty damn good for the gap that I had. Honestly, I've been riding the struggle bus with this welder. It has the auto setting. With the thin stuff, I usually take it auto and run it manual. I went back to auto on here and it welded pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong. Here, we had ginormous gaps, so that doesn't look great. Same with over here. I could stick my finger in there. But these welds here look pretty good. These look pretty decent. I tried to fill in that corner. And these look pretty good. So, also as you saw here, I was able to push the floor up to weld that at least. That should hold this. Makes that a lot more sturdy. So, we're ready for the next piece. And I used my brain for about 0.2 seconds and realized I could just measure the distance between these to weld in that other piece. So I already did that, 7 7/8 between the two pieces of 3-inch. So I'm actually gonna probably tack these in right away, this one. I'm not gonna go full bore like I did on this, but that should get me pretty damn close. My holes in my brackets are oversized a hair, so they can move 1/8 to, probably about an 1/8 inch. So yeah, let's get that welded in, get the seat back in. Should be good. That might be in my way. Close your eyes, we're going hot. Make sure this is down. I should probably double check this. I should probably double, oh, right here. 7 7/8. 7 7/8. Call her good. Okay, should probably hit this corner too. Ooh, it's getting cold in here. See my breath. Ouch. Okay. That's pretty sturdy. This one's got a gap like you wouldn't believe. We got her. Okay. That's pretty good. We'll throw the seat in now and get our brackets, or get it lined up where we want it. Then we can tack the brackets in, unbolt the seat from the brackets, pull the seat out, and fully weld everything. And then we should be golden. Get this in here. Just like so. Get these bottom brackets lined up on the square tube, like so. What is that woman doing out there? Don't ask. You're going to hear something you don't want to hear or end up doing something you don't want to do. We're already doing that. Okay, yeah, that lines up pretty damn good. So now, I want to make sure that this bolster is outside, or inside, I guess. This sill, rocker panel, whatever. And this piece also needs to be inside a piece in there. Anyway. Okay. Ouch. I think. I think that looks okay. Kind of tight over there. Trying to keep these seats clean-ish. Oh. That will definitely clear that, I think. This is pushing it. Not bad. Yep. Okay, that all clears. I don't know where this rail is. Oh. Okay. Not terrible. It was tight over here. It's not bad. Let's burn it. I don't know. Don't care. Looks pretty square. Burning it. Need this. I need this. Okay, one tack. Okay, these ones are going to be a bit of a pain. Actually, this one will be easy. Okay. Now that back one, how can I get at that? I'll be back. Oh, what's going on? Oh. Okay. She's tacked in. Take the seat out. And hopefully the door will shut. Probably should have checked it. Probably should check it. But we're not going to. It'll be fine. Okay, get these nuts out of here. That's going to be a blast. Yeah. All right. I'm going to work on getting this thing out of here. It's going to be a bit of a chore because I got to get a wrench in an area that big underneath like so. But it can be done. I hope. Got all my tabs welded on. That went pretty smoothly. They welded nice. However, welding this piece of square tube in over here went terrible. I think I hit 3 different spot welds and they just completely blew out. And plus this gap over here was pretty big, so I had to fill that in. But I got it. That's what it is. That's what it's going to look like. Now, my goal was to have the other side done and be painting the floor by tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen, I'll be honest. But what I am going to do for the rest of the night is on this side, I do have a couple holes here I want to fix. This is also where that piece of square tube went, so this is going to have to get moved somewhere. And I also have some wiring here I'll have to deal with. So I am going to try to fix the floor, knock out those other brackets tonight. Hopefully it is dark out, so it's probably about 4 o'clock. Actually, it's 6:37. If I just knuckle down and get it done, it should only take me a few hours. So I'm going to turn the TV on, turn the heat on, hopefully get that knocked out tonight, and hopefully the next time I see you, we'll either be getting ready to paint or painting. See you then. Yo, it's a new day once again, obviously. The last time we interacted was Friday, and we finished up this side. Now, Friday night, I went ahead and put in this little piece of floor pan. This little piece kicked my ass because it was thin all in here and thin in here. There's actually a piece on the back side pushed up and welded, and just like all welded in, so it looks half decent. Same here. This took me pretty much all night. Like I said, it kicked my ass. I did go ahead Friday night and cut, more or less rough cut all my pieces and get my brackets set up ready to go so that I would be ready to rock and roll yesterday, and just pretty much lay down some wire and go to town. Well, that didn't happen. I did come out in the morning, and then my wife said, hey, the bathroom upstairs, which we absolutely never ever use, stinks really bad. Turns out I had a plumbing issue, so I worked on that for half the day, and then I realized my sump pump outside was all frozen, so then I messed with that for another couple hours. Finally, I got back to this. I ended up running out of welding tips. So actually, I'm using 023 wire, and I only had one 023 tip. And sometime last week when I was doing rocker panels, I took that tip off and I tossed it, and I grabbed a different one, which was actually a 30 thousandths tip. Long story short, yesterday they kept welding to the tip. So I went to 4 or 5 different stores to try to find tips. I have a Tweco end like this, and it uses different tips. I'm trying to see if I have one around here, which I don't. It uses different tips than like standard ones. I can't find them anywhere. So I screwed around for a good 2-3 hours driving all over the place. Couldn't find them. All to come home and find the 23 tip that I threw on the floor to clean that one up and finish it off. Well, I didn't finish it off. Well, I did, I guess, using that tip. But I started welding, and then I ran out of gas again for the second time. I have a big tank, which is over there, that I haven't taken to get filled yet. I ran out. I was using 100% argon for my TIG to do MIG, which does not work well at all. I ended up going to Travis's house and got his tank, which was brand new full. I ran that one empty. And I only had I think I only had to weld the little brackets on the top of the square tube. So I went back to 100% argon. That was welding absolutely terrible. And then I realized I have this little itty bitty tiny tank that is, long story short, mystery gas. The label says it is mixed gas, but I bought that secondhand to put straight argon in it. Long story short, I don't believe that the label matches the tank. I'm not sure. So I ended up welding the rest of it up with mystery gas. Okay, that was my whole day yesterday. Long story short, this is all put in, all welded in, good to go, just like the other side. Now, yesterday I said we were going to paint this thing. We're not going to paint this thing. I did go while I was out bumming around for 3 hours yesterday and bought this bed liner. I know nothing about this stuff. I've never used it. I didn't watch any videos on it. One can should do 15 square feet, so I bought 2 cans, 2 coats, 15 square feet. So I bought 2 cans and rollers and brushes and whatnot. After further deliberation, there's a lot of work that I should probably do before I go painting the floor. I need to wire wheel all of this. I want to run seam sealer in all my seams, and actually I don't even know if that stuff will stick to seam sealer, so we're going to figure that out together. And I don't know, well, I'm going to paint this vehicle. So we're going to have to do a bunch of body work to this, and getting all the sanding dust and stuff on that black paint, it's probably not going to clean up very well. And I do want to roll this outside and try to hose it down a little bit before I try to paint the floor. And probably the biggest reason is I'm lazy and I'm sick of working on this and I don't want to do it. So all the other reasons are just reasons for me not to do it right now. So with that all being said, holy shit. To end this video, we're going to throw these seats back in without the plastic. We're going to ooh-ah over them and we're going to call it a video. So let's do that. Got the seats in. They look pretty damn good. They sit up nice and high so you can see over the steering wheel and the dash. I did have my wife come out and sit in it and she liked it. I do really like the low back seats. I didn't think I would, but in all honesty, they look pretty damn good from the back. Center wise, I think this seat is pushed in a little bit compared to that one. But other than that, they do look fairly square. Yeah. Now they are pushed ahead a little bit because if I push them back, they'll fall over. But they do look damn good. Plenty of room here in the center. When you sit in the driver's seat, you're centered with the steering wheel and you can see over top of it. I am pretty happy with that. So, that's it. End of this video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Next video, I want to make probably panels for this and potentially we'll paint the floor. Who knows? We'll see. I do want to fill this in also so that you don't have like a spare tire thing. I do need to finish this portion up, get that all finished, welded and ground down. it's coming together. Slowly but surely, it's coming together. Not a lot of people watch these videos because it's a geo tracker. It's probably a very small geo tracker Suzuki Samurai community out there that watch these videos. But hey, if you're watching them and you made it this far, I appreciate it. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the shit everybody tells you to do. And catch you in the next one. I got a bathroom to demolish. And I don't know where my sledgehammer is. I'll find it.